Okay, so this question is from Meg. So, need to move ovulation up. She's tried natural remedies for 1 year. Any reason not to take letrozole? Hey there, welcome to Ask the Fertility Experts, a daily Q&A show where we'll be answering your fertility questions. I'm Sarah Clark, founder of Fab Fertile. We specialize in low AMH, high FSH, diminished ovarian reserve, and premature ovarian insufficiency or failure. I will be joined by Dr. Tabatha Barber. She is triple board certified in obstetrics, gynecology, menopause, and functional medicine. If you have a question, simply go to Fab Fertile Inc. on Instagram, leave me a DM and drop your question there, and we will answer your question on an upcoming show. That's Fab Fertile Inc. on Instagram. Okay, so this question is from Meg. So, need to move ovulation up. She's tried natural remedies for 1 year. Any reason not to take letrozole? We just talked about that one on one of our other questions. So, Dr. Tabatha.
Okay, so she needs to move ovulation up. I'm guessing that means she's just not ovulating and she's, needing to get pregnant. So Clomid used to be the first line for ovulation induction, meaning you're not ovulating on your own, you're not releasing that egg. And so they use something to make that happen. Clomid is a selective estrogen receptor modulator. You're given it and it hopefully causes you to release an egg. Unfortunately, Clomid usually causes you to release a few eggs, and because it's blocking estrogen, you can also get a thin lining in the uterus, and the lining is where your egg's going to implant once it gets fertilized. So it's super important to have a nice plush lining for that egg to implant. Otherwise, you could miscarry. And so when we use Clomid, we have an increased risk of multiples. We have an increased risk of a thin lining and, following with a miscarriage. So they started using letrozole. Letrozole is an aromatase inhibitor. So it blocks estrogen as well as the production of it, but it has a much shorter half-life. So it's safer in regards to the teratogenicity, that issue, but it also doesn't cause the thinning of the lining. So it is now kind of gone into favor as more of the first line agent for ovulation induction. And I would say, if you've dialed in everything, you have figured out how to get your cycle as balanced as possible, you've tried natural progesterone, you're still not able to ovulate, then these are good medications to help with that. And letrozole has a lower risk of multiples, better endometrial lining. So I would say that would be the one to go with for sure.
Yeah, as long as you've done the diet and lifestyle changes in conjunction, because obviously in a functional approach, we're looking at diet and lifestyle. And sometimes, we do need to use medication, but many times in the conventional side, it's just the medication and no one's looked at the environmental toxins, the food sensitivities, all the other issues as to why is your ovulation off to begin with?
Yeah, let me just paint a very common picture is you're not ovulating because you have too much cortisol production, too much stress. And progesterone is an ingredient to make cortisol. So every time you make cortisol to handle your stress, you're stealing your progesterone. And so if it's already low and you're already not ovulating, then you're just making that situation worse. So the conventional doctor gives you letrozole, you end up getting pregnant, but you still have low progesterone because you haven't fixed the stress and managed the stress, and then you miscarry because progesterone is needed to keep that lining thick and keep that pregnancy alive until the placenta develops around 11 or 12 weeks. And so, there's never a magic pill. Letrozole is not the magic pill. You have to do the other work. And so often, if you do the other work, you don't need it. So I would say, like Sarah's saying, try the other stuff first.
Thanks so much for being here. If you've got a question that you want answered, simply go to Fab Fertile Inc. on Instagram, send me a DM, and we will answer your question on an upcoming show. That's Fab Fertile Inc. and send me a DM. And please refer to our disclaimer below. Take care.